Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is season 32 of Alliance War. War number 9, we're up against an FD or another, pretty tough Masters Alliance. So we've definitely got our work cut out for us today. They banned both Corvus and Hercules. I'm not entirely sure why, but also Ghost. So they banned my boy Corvus, so you can't bring him. But we got signed a bit of an interesting team: Omega Red, Sorcerer Supreme, and also Red Magneto. We've got 7 fights today actually, so a bit more than we've had the last couple of wars, which is nice. Yeah, so we've got a couple of fun fights here today. Starting off here on path 7, we've got a Knull. So we are gonna. I did activate a 6-hour boost just because I had one. I thought we'd be able to take most of our fights in that 6-hour boost, but I was definitely wrong about that. We didn't get well into the section turn until much later on. But we are going to pop an invulnerability boost just to be safe, because Knull can be, because he still is a new champ, he can be a bit annoying. I did a lot of duels against this guy to practice texting his special 2. And I did get it most of the time. We definitely don't want him to throw his special 1 because that can trigger kinetic transference a lot. So we just want him to throw his special 2 ideally. If he throws a special 3, it's not the end of the world. We can handle the reverse controls, and the invulnerability boost will take most of the damage. But unfortunately, we did mess up the special 2 decks right there, so I did take a little bit of damage. But we did get a bit of willpower healing back from his Living Abyss and also armor break debuffs, so not the end of the world. It's just gonna mean 1 potion here against this Kingpin. So Kingpin here is on the Vivified node. It's not the worst placement for Kingpin. There's not too many champs that can do this fight really well, but Omega Red is definitely one of them. But also I definitely missed the Sabretooth synergy for this fight because Sabretooth provides double the spore rate. Like the rate at which Kingpin gets spores is double when you have Sabretooth on the team, but without it it's quite a bit slower. But we are able to lock the spores on at 9. Sorry, the degen at 9 spores. We get up to 10 there. He's unstoppable armor, of course. He does trigger it there. Luckily, he didn't punish us when we were hitting him into block. And unfortunately, we did lose all our spores because we weren't able to lock in the degen because of the unstoppable. But we get up to 8 spores right as the degen wears off. Here I throw the heavy attack. That pushes into a special 2. Didn't really want to do that. I definitely don't want to bait a special 2, so we just go for it here. Just go full 5-hit combos into a special 2. And luckily he didn't trigger unstoppable armor right at the end because he might have been able to punish us, but I think he probably would have died anyway. So yeah, a bit of a stressful Omega Red versus Kingpin fight, but Omega Red did the job. Luckily those boosts definitely made the difference at the end there. But here we're going to be doing quick mastery change to take suicides off because our next fight is going to be with Sorcerer Supreme. We're just going to be using her for the 1 fight today. Also, we're only going to be using Magneto for the 1 fight. But Sorcerer Supreme obviously is quite horrible with suicides because she is a very special spammy champ. And obviously has no resistance or immunities to the bleed or poison. So we definitely don't want suicides at all. And we are going to put on 4 Mystic Dispersion because that is going to help for this next fight, which is a Power Snack Dr. Octopus. So Dr. Octopus is does benefit from the unstoppable armor global, so whenever he gets an armor up buff from his abilities and also the 10-second timer, he has a chance to go unstoppable, of course. So by using Sorcerer Supreme with our pre-fight, that lets us start in our power gain phase and a power start 1 boost, we can immediately start at a special 1. Now what that does is it would also activate Dr. Octopus's breakthrough for us gaining a bar of power, so we will actually start the fight power launch, but we'll also have a bar of power. So we can throw that straight away, and that's going to activate the slow debuff. And we really want to have that on as much, like ideally for the entire fight, because anytime he goes unstoppable, we don't want to have to worry about that. Now, while he is unstoppable, he will also be stun immune. So even though we can slow him, we still have to be remember that he is stun immune. So yeah, the unstoppable armor did activate, and also twice in a row there, but we do have the slow up this time. And we want to get to a special 3 just to lock in that power rune, because that means we'll activate a slow on every special, which is definitely what we want. And if we can do that, we can easily keep it up for the whole fight. So we just throw a heavy hitter, change phase into the power gain phase, throw that special 3 that will give us a permanent power, like slow rune. Can't remember exactly what the name is, but special 3 also does a decent-ish amount of damage. But yeah, it is quite a slow fight because Sorcerer Supreme isn't the the quickest when it comes to damage output, and we also have to worry about power snack because that gives him 75% of a bar of power whenever we trigger a buff, and obviously that has a cooldown. But yeah, it is a slow fight, and you could probably make an argument for taking dexterity off for this fight, but I didn't want to because it's Dr. Octopus. Like his dash attack has like very long reach, and I probably would have out of habit be dexing it, like try to dex it, and that wouldn't work without dexterity. You need dexterity to dodge that medium attack, that initial medium attack. So I decided to keep it on, and that definitely was a good decision. So because we are able to still block most of the time, but especially when it comes to dodging that special 2, we definitely want to use dexterity there because we won't have the regen on block active all the time. So yeah, it does activate backup recovery here. That does get into a 3rd bar of power, but we enter the power gain phase here, Icon's Ingenuity, and that gives us a power steal on every basic attack, or every hit actually. So we're able to keep his power right under 3 bars of power, and there he throws the special 2, which was great. So Sorcerer Supreme is really able to very strongly control the opponent's power gain when she's in that phase. So we timed that very well there with backup recovery. And we also are getting a little bit of extra willpower healing from his power lock, from activating that breakthrough in physics, which is nice. A bit of extra willpower healing. It means we're able to just pretty much do this whole fight at 90% health plus, which is great. So yeah, Sorcerer Supreme is a super safe option for this fight. You can probably make an argument for other champs that have slow, but Sorcerer Supreme probably the safest option. Definitely not the quickest, but definitely the safest. So yeah, she did really well there. And then I think we did turn Suicides back on for this. Now we have got an EMP mod Iron Man Infinity War here, and I got assigned this without an Odin pre-fight, but I had to remind the officers that Magneto doesn't actually have shock resistance to passives. It only works on debuffs, so we'll actually need an Odin pre-fight. But unfortunately, when the Odin guy came, he put all 3 pre-fights on. That's normally not an issue, but because of Burden of Might, that is an issue, because that means we're going to have 2 more buffs than we need, and that's going to reduce our power rate by an extra 30%. So initially, with just the 1 pre-fire, I would have done basic attack, like basic combos until we get to a special 3, because we would have been able to get there. But by having all 3 pre-fights, our combat power rate is reduced by about half, and that's not good because it means it's going to take a very, very long time to get to a special 3, and by that time he probably would have activated Aspect of Evolution a lot. So I just decided to knuckle down and just go parry heavy the entire fight. Now that's definitely not ideal for a couple reasons. Well, one is you're activating prowess all the time, so you're never going to get any power because of Burden of Might. Once you get like more than 4 or 5 buffs, you're just not getting any power at all. And another thing is Bubble Shield. So whenever we parry, we get a Bubble Shield charge. Now that chance is reduced a lot by his magnetized ability. But here I made almost here I have a big mistake, because after the 10th charge he goes unblockable, and I knew that was coming. I just had a total brain fart. I didn't dodge that next hit after he reached 10 Bubble Shield charges, so he took a bit of damage there. And luckily our Magneto is awakened. If I had done this fight 6 months ago when Magneto wasn't awakened, I definitely would have died here, because we really needed that extra heavy damage. Now another thing is, even though we have the Odin pre-fight, we also are getting a lot of buffs still, so he is able to actually place a lot of shock debuffs on us still, and that even though they don't do too much damage, they do add up. So here we only have 2, and that's really not too much damage, but I think before we were getting like 4 or 5, and that doesn't look like much, but it does add up over time. You see we are slowly trickling down health wise. And we also do have the health boost combined with liquid courage, so we're also kind of draining a bit of health from the poison debuff. But we definitely did need that, because if we didn't, I think we might have not been able to do this fight because we needed the extra damage. So took about almost 2.5 minutes, but we finally got Iron Man down. So it was very suboptimal fight, but it worked. But we're definitely not gonna do that in the future. Alright, so now we're actually on path 2, so this is the path 2 in the second section. So we got strike, counter, block, penetration. They placed a Thor Ragnarok here. Either Omega Red or Magneto would have worked here because he is metal. I go for a silly intercept at the start. Well, I wasn't trying to go for an intercept, but he went for a dash and that activated his auto block, so he did take a little bit of damage from being stunned. But we lock on the spores here at 15. I don't want to parry too much because that's going to activate a passive disorient on us, so it reduces our ability accuracy to parry. And he does have some block penetration charges here, but it's not too bad. It's really just going to cost us 1 potion. We're just going to let the spores trickle him down here. We can get to a special 3. I probably should have thrown the special 3 earlier, because that would have given us some health back from the debuffs, from the spore siphon, get some health and power back. But I think I also did want to wait until we had hit him 20 times for that power burst that he gets. And then next up we have a Silver Surfer here, so that Thor just cost us 1 more potion, so we only spent two potions this war, which isn't the end of the world, because we have so many of those level 5 war potions. And yeah, so this Silver Surfer isn't really an issue at all. The main difference here is we get a disorient when we dash back twice in a row instead of just parrying, so it's actually easier with Omega Red, because you don't have to dash back twice in a row too often against Surfer. So we're just gonna let the spores build up. We don't have to hit him too much. Probably didn't even need to hit him to a bar of power there, so that was a bit of a mistake. But we do get back up to 10 spores. Now here I locked in the spores right as we got to 10 and threw a special 2, so we could reset our strike counter charges. So he only has 1 block penetration charge here, which is ideal. Not ideal, but it's better than having 7 or 8 at this point. And yeah, he went down really quickly, so that was pretty good. And then our last fight today is a Man-Thing. Now, this is actually a much simpler fight than it could be, because this Man-Thing is unawakened, so they placed him on the Safeguard and Vigorous Assault mini. But Vigorous Assault just is not a factor at all here, because Man-Thing isn't awakened. If he was awakened, he would get a regen buff every time he throws a special below below 50% health. And that wouldn't have been good, because I prepared this guy. I thought this guy would probably have 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, and he did. So I did pop him in Vulnerability Boost, because while Omega can get the damage in pretty quickly, we do also get a lot of buffs from Man-Thing's Pustules, and also the Dexterity buff. Now this fight, I really wanted Sabretooth. I really missed Sabretooth in this fight, because it meant we would have been able to build up the spores quicker. And he was just throwing way too many special ones. I didn't think he'd be throwing too many special ones this frequently. And also he has the Unstoppable Armor Global, so that was a factor. We couldn't, lock in the spores when that timer was about to hit. So yeah, he was just throwing special one after special one after special one after special one after special one. It was so annoying. I just wanted to lock those spores in at 10. But yeah, he was just throwing specials. He would never go for a parry. And Mystic Dispersion with those pustules, we have 7 of those at the moment. That's given him so much power. And now here, I decided to go for a special 3, because I think we had almost 10 spores. And he was pretty much at 3 bars of power now. So while we do have the invulnerability boost, this special 3 is also a safety net for us by stealing his power. And it means we don't have to use one of the hits from an invulnerability boost. But here, he just throws another bloody special one. I just want him to go for a parry, because we had like 7 spores at that point. We just lose them all so quickly without Sabretooth. 9, 10, they were back down to 0 or 2. It's just so annoying, man. And he just kept throwing specials as soon as he got them. It was so annoying. We just really wanted to lock in the spores. We haven't been able to lock in the spores for over a minute, because that's really the main source of our damage with Safeguard. And here he actually does get to a special 3 before us. and there's no like major issues with his special 3. It will just consume 1 hit of our indestructible charge, indestructible boost, invulnerability boost. There we go. That's what I meant. And here we actually finally did lock in the spores, but here, right as the D-Gen expired is when Unstoppable Armor came on, which is just the worst timing. And here I thought I would dodge the special 2, but I think we were just too close, and that actually uses the last 2 hits of our invulnerability boost. He goes Unstoppable again from the global. Now we do have a special 3 in the bank in case we need it, and we definitely will need it because we still have buffs on us, and that is feeding Mystic Diversion. He's still throwing his special 1s, that's putting all the pustules on us. He's still going Unstoppable like every time from the global. Here I just wanted to lock in the spores, please, and I don't know why I didn't. I should have probably locked in the spores, but we go for just a full 5-hit combo, I think just to get as much damage in as we could in the short amount of time before going for our special 3. He's on 6% health now, which is still a lot out of his 300k health pool, and that drains him a bit. He actually doesn't trigger the Unstoppable this time. He throws another special 2, we blocked that, we should have dexed it, and here right at the last second we throw the special 1 and that finishes them off. So very, very long fight, but it works. And Mega Red is a lifesaver there. So yeah, that was our walk today, all 7 fights soloed. So yeah, I was really happy that we got those all soloed because there were a couple sketchy moments, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So this was a very close war in the end. Actually, they ended up did end up beating us just, I think, by 2 deaths, and we were winning on fight duration as well. So if we had just died twice, 2 times less, we would have won this war. And so that means we did move down a little bit, so we're up down to 9th now. And I think a couple wars ago, like 3 wars ago, we were 8th, and then we won once and lost twice. So with 3 wars left, I'm pretty sure we have to win all 3 for like a guarantee, like for the best. Definitely have to win all 3 for the best shot at Masters. If we win 2, and maybe there's some Alliance point stockings, we might have a chance to sneak in. But we just have to win as many as we can, at least 2, preferably 3. So yeah, it's gonna be tight, but I'm really looking forward to it. This last week's gonna be crazy. We'll see who we match, and we're just gonna have to give it our all, to get that shot at Masters, because that's what we all want. So thank you guys for watching. This is probably one of my favorite wars this season, with the variation of fights we took, and even though it was a bit frustrating at times and a bit slow at times, the Sorcerer Supreme vs Dr. Octopus fight was probably one of my favorite fights this season. So I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.